Hello and welcome to my review of Jeepers Creepers 3. A movie which I put off watching for as long as I could. It was on my Netflix watch list. I had to watch it at some point because, of course, I'm a big fan of Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2. I've reviewed them both on the channel. I think they're really good films. Now, a lot of people don't think they are. A lot of people think they're goofy or even boring or dumb. I could see that. There's some intentional goof in there. But this movie, it really went full goof. And you never go full goof. Now, the director surprised me. Because it's the same director. I'm not really sure how that happened. Victor Salva directed 1, 2, and 3. Now, the first couple of movies came out within a couple of years of each other, back in the earlier 2000s, and then he waited a long time to bring out this one. Now, I'm not sure why. Maybe he got bored of the idea. Maybe they didn't make enough money. For whatever reason, the budget on this movie is clearly lower. Now, of course, I'm going to be talking both non-spoiler, first of all, as you can see over here, and spoiler talk later on. But there are still some parts of the movie and why it let me down that I can get into without spoiling anything too significant. And by not spoiling anything significant, I mean, I'm not necessarily talking about story in an overarching sense. I'm talking more about, locations and effects, that kind of stuff. So first of all, it's all new characters, as you'd expect. Each of the two films has kind of set that precedent, so I have no issue there. The problem is, every single actor in this movie, and I mean every single one of them, seems like they've been plucked straight out of a daytime soap. Because the acting is horrendous. I mean, literally, I've seen short films on YouTube with better actors than this film. They're all overacting, absolutely ridiculous. Everyone has, this certain set facial expression that they have, all the time through the film. And I'm the kind of timid and worried guy. I'm the tough, badass guy who's going to kill this creature. And they just stay like it all the time. There's no nuance to the characters at all. But trust me, I'm scratching the surface of what's bad about this movie. The second thing that stuck out like a sore thumb, and I really do not understand this about the movie, the first two films set a very clever precedent of letting the majority of the kills happen at nighttime. That is a brilliant move for a horror film, because as long as it's properly lit, you can shoot at night and still see what's going on, and both the first and the second movie do a very good job of that. You can hide a lot at nighttime. You can hide effects, you can make locations look more sinister than they ever would in the daytime. This movie takes place 90% in the middle of the day. I don't care what movie it isn't as scary in broad daylight. There's a reason why stuff like The Thing happens in darkness most of the time, or inside a claustrophobic place. There's a reason why the first two movies took place at nighttime, predominantly. It's just more effective. It's as simple as that. That is a huge issue, and it's actually really bringing up something which I believe is my single overarching thought for this movie. Every single choice that was made in this film, every character, every story beat, every kill, every set piece, even, could have been good. And that's why it's such a bad film. Because it has so much raw potential, and every single step of the way, they do the wrong thing. They've got great locations, make it daytime. They've got characters who you don't care about, great cannon fodder. They spend too much time on dialogue with the characters and make you hate them even more. They've got a fantastic undervalued movie monster. They use horrendous CGI. And for some weird reason, and this isn't even a spoiler, make the movie more about his van. Who cares about the van? The van was never the point of Jeepers Creepers. It's barely even in the second movie that I can remember. In the first one, it's cool as an introduction to the character, but none of us are watching Jeepers Creepers for the van. This isn't Jewel, it's Jeepers Creepers. Now, that was another bad choice. So much time and mythology and world building is spent on this van in this movie, and I couldn't give a rat's ass about the van. The van could blow up for all I care. I really don't care. And the problem with that, from a storytelling point of view, and I have no doubt that the director and the writers clearly didn't think of this, obviously, the more time you spend on how badass this van is supposed to be, the less time I'm going to care about the creeper. Because if the van is so cool, then he isn't that impressive at all. The whole point of the movies is that he is a scary character, or it is a scary character. Don't make the van a scary character. This isn't Christine. Make it focused on him. So like I said, so many story beats, choices could have been done that little bit better if it was just done, generally speaking, in the opposite way. Don't make it about the van, make it about him. Don't make it daytime, make it nighttime. Introduce characters who you don't mind getting killed, but don't have 10, 15, 20 minutes of dialogue about their relationship that they want to have. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the characters in these movies. They are there to die. That is it. There's like maybe one or two people who you actually care about, much like most horror films. And let's be honest, this movie's never going to be like a The Thing level movie, where you care about everyone. It's not that caliber of film, and it's never going to be. I still love it, though, because that's not the point. The first two aren't trying to do that. This movie, in an ironic sense, kind of is. It's almost trying to make you care about these people who you really could not care less about. You can't even remember their names. They all look like they're made of plastic. So, yeah. If it wasn't already clear, I'm not a huge fan of this film. Now, I've heard that the fourth one is potentially in development. I hope not. And I hate to say that, because I love Jeepers Creepers. I prefer Jeepers Creepers, the Creeper himself, over a Freddy Krueger, over a Michael Myers, over a Jason. And I know that's heresy to say, but to me he's far more interesting. 3 movies, never says a word. He's got badass weapons, cool bat wings, dressed to impress, cool concept. He doesn't need jokes. He doesn't need one-liners. He doesn't need a gun. Doesn't need some crazy laugh. He's just an unstoppable force. A demon in a trench coat. Except the third one's about a van. I mean, what the hell were they doing in this film? The budget was clearly dropped because, I mean, the CGI is... I mean, they should have just employed, like, Corridor Digital or something to do the CGI for them because they are hopeless in this film. There's a scene where a character gets killed on a motorcycle, and I don't even want to spoil it. Just watch it. You'll see exactly what I mean. In fact, you can probably look up that scene on YouTube. Now, I think overall that's pretty much it for the spoiler-free talk. Spoiler talk, let's see. I guess the primary piece of spoiler talk that I want to get into is about the ending. Because, of course, they bring back the sister from the first film. You find out that this movie is set between the first and second movie, and that this kid who survived the third movie, who you don't care about, oh no, he's now on the bus in the second movie. Who cares? Not me. Then we've got the ending itself. Reintroduce the sister from the first movie, because that'll get the fans back on board for a fourth installment. No, it won't. Because A, she looks 90 years old for no apparent reason, and B, why would I want to see a fourth movie when the third one is horrendous? So, I really don't get this film. The thing that surprised me the most is that it had the same director. Because, man, dude, you dropped the ball big time. I mean, if this was my creation, I don't know if he came up with Jeepers Creepers as a concept or if somebody else did and he was just... employed to do it. I think it was probably his idea since he did the first two, well, and this one. Why would you allow this to happen? Because this isn't just bad editing. There's bad choices all along the way. And it feels really like a TV movie. In fact, I think, wasn't it released as an on-demand movie or something stupid like that? Yeah, it's horrendous. I would say overall, don't watch this movie unless you're a completionist. If you are a completionist, fast forward a lot of it. Every time that the creeper isn't on screen, press fast forward. Because you're really missing nothing. You've got dumb characters, people who they try and bring back from other films in this vain attempt to save the movie. I don't do scores anymore, but of course this one would be like an F or a 1 out of 10, if that. But yeah, I mean, that's it overall for my thoughts. Generally speaking, of course, I don't review bad movies. But there are certain occasions where I kind of have to. And it's occasions like this, where I've already reviewed the first and the second. I really like the first and the second. I know a lot of you are wondering about the third one. Maybe you would like to hear my thoughts on it. That's why I've reviewed it. In a similar way to why I reviewed Son of the Blob, even though it's possibly the worst movie I've ever seen. Because the series demanded it. You know, I reviewed the 58 movie, the 88 movie. I've kind of got to do the other one as well. But, yeah, overall that's it for my thoughts. Tell me down below, though. Did you maybe like the movie? I could imagine some people kind of having this love for the film in a weird kind of way. You know, a lot of bad movies have fans, and I think the primary thing that might make some people loyal to this movie is because of how much they like the character and the first and second one. I can understand that, but for me, as much as I love The Creeper, this movie just takes a huge steaming dump on everything that the character had that was badass. You went from a movie that's about this night-stalking, flesh-eating, flying demon that can attack from anywhere at any time with a basement full of bodies, to being a movie about a sentient van with a fishing rod in the broad daylight hunting down the hand from the Addams family. Well, that's it for my review. So, of course, stick around on the channel for more. Of course, if you haven't already checked out my reviews for the first and second film, you could do that. But until next time, I'll see you then. And for now, as always, thanks for watching.